Hello, I'm Martha Josie from the Josie Ranch, and I'm going to talk about a company that I am very, very fond of, and it's Circle Y of Yoakum, Texas. Circle Y has been in business for over 50 years making quality saddles, and I'm going to kind of talk to you about my involvement with them. Josie and I together have been with Circle Y for just about 25 years now, and we have loved every minute of it because they really try to please their customers. They want the horses to be happy with their saddles, and I'm just going to talk to you first about my ultimate saddle. This is the Martha Josie Circle Y Ultimate Saddle, and this is the saddle that we have had in stock for several years. We've had many champions that ride it. Mesa Levitt rides it, and of course she's won the IPRA World Championship for 4 years in a row and has won the Junior World and the Reunion here. So, you know, but many champions ride this saddle. One of the features, it's got the 4-inch handle that really lays in a direction that it will not hit you from behind, and I love this handle. Right in here, it's what we call the center pocket seat, and why we call it the center pocket seat, because we have made this as narrow as you can to get the feel of your horse, which is wonderful. This is the swell of the saddle. I love this swell. It keeps you from going out over the front of a horse. Love this tall horn. It's kind of like a cutting horn, because barrel racers, instead of putting their hand over the top of a horn, they like to wrap their hand around so they can get a really good hold. This saddle comes anywhere from a 12-inch to 13, 14, and it even comes in half sizes, because I personally ride a 14.5, and 14's a little bit too small for me. A 15's too big, so that half of a size really makes the difference. One thing I'm going to tell you about that I love, we've got what we call the forward hung stirrups, and they are actually on something here that will keep this stirrup where you can push it forward. This is wonderful. And our saddles do not require that you use a back cinch, but we put this slot in if you would like to use a back cinch. Now, we had a lot of requests from riders that wanted a little bit deeper seat. This saddle, we're going to leave it just as it is because we love it so much. By the way, it comes with aluminum stirrups, the 3-inch, and the reason I love the 3-inch so much is I can balance on my foot to push up, leaving a barrel, or push down when I'm getting into that turn. So that's why I really love this particular stirrup. But what we have done with this saddle, this is new, it's brand new, just coming out. We have actually raised the seat back here 1 inch, making it from a 4-inch to a 5-inch. Okay, when you raise the back end, you don't want to keep the front end low, because then you might feel like you're getting higher here, lower here. So what we did with our front end on this saddle, we raised it 1 inch, the same as we did back here. So now you've got a saddle that will really give you security. You've got a deep seat that when you leave a barrel, you can really stay forward leaving your barrel instead of getting thrown backwards. The swell is wonderful, and one reason that I like this tall swell, because it's got a place for your leg to go right down here, and this is something that when you're maybe thrown forward, we got a lot of horses now that are really strong. When they drop for that barrel or go into that barrel, you want to be able to sit down and not go over the saddle horn. So this swell is great for that. Everything else underneath this saddle is the very same, because this saddle fits a horse so good. So we didn't change that part, but we added 1 inch here and 1 inch here. Now, We're talking about the name of it now. It'll be the Circle Y Martha Josie Smash, or how do you like the Circle Y Martha Josie Cash? My horse that I'm riding right now, his name is, I call him Cash. It's a little Okie Dash, but I call him Cash because I like to win the cash. So y'all go to my Facebook. Let me know, would you rather see Smash or Cash? And you know, I rode the great horse Orange Smash and went to the finals on him, and he was such a great horse. I like that name, but I love my horse Cash now, so y'all help me. Come to my Facebook. And you know, now that we're talking about Cash, we might give you the tip of the day. You know, I love running barrels, but I don't like hitting a barrel, and I'm just going to tell you a few tips that might help you. Because if you go to the national finals, or you go to your local rodeo, or your high school rodeo, or the junior world here, or the reunion, you don't want to be disqualified by hitting a barrel. So I'm going to give you some tips. Let me get on my horse. All right, the tip that I'm talking about, that we're going to talk about today, is how not to hit barrels. And it really starts in the practice pen. Now this is Cash, my horse, little Okie Dash, that I call Cash, and I've actually got my competition bridle on right now, which it's the $1 Million bit that I love. And of course I've got the knot reins that we use so much. But this exercise that we are talking about doing would go great in our new Training to Win bit. The Josie Hunter Training to Win bit, because it would be great to use with your running martingale. But to make perfect barrels without hitting a barrel, you want to be able to put a lot of arc in your horse. You want to be able to get their nose without them dropping a shoulder when you get to the barrel. So you want to teach this horse to walk circles, and you just walk perfect circles using a little bit of inside leg. You want to arc in that horse, because when they actually go around a barrel, their head can be straight out in front of them, their rear end needs to be gathered up, but they need to arc in the body right here from the shoulder this direction into the hip, because that way you're not going to hit a barrel with a drop shoulder. You want that arc. You want to be able to put something on that you can pick up a shoulder. And we just recently had a really good demonstration by Fred Hunter, and he demonstrated how to pick up a shoulder on a horse. So be sure and go to our website for that. But you want to be able to walk perfect circles, teaching this horse to bend in that rib cage, and you can do it in a walk, a jog, and perfect circles are so important too. And you know, you want to teach a horse that he should go around the barrel, because some horses actually think that they're supposed to hit a barrel. This is why I always say, always practice perfect in everything that you do. In practice, you're going slow enough, usually a walk, trot, a coast, that you should never make a mistake. I'm going to show you on the first barrel what I'm talking about in just walking through the pattern. I like to walk through with two hands when I'm just in my training mode, because this inside rein is to get your bend. This other rein is to balance your horse. So when you're coming in here, you want to look at this spot, give that room, and give that room around this barrel and the bend. If you'll notice, this horse is really looking at that barrel. I've really been lucky, because since I've owned this horse, I've only hit 2 barrels, and by brushing a barrel when I left it. He does not like to hit barrels, so I'm really lucky. But when you're training them, train them to give a little bit and use that inside leg, and if you need to, push up against the shoulder or the neck a little bit right here. And if you're hitting barrels in competition, learn how to make a horse move away from an inside rein. such as move away and not in. Some horses, when you get to a barrel, you take up on the rein and they think that means turn. So if you've got a horse that's pushing into that rein, teach them to move over a little bit by using just a little bit of leg and that inside rein. And we've got a lot more in some of our training videos about how to not hit barrels, but good luck, because we want you to go to your next competition and leave all 3 barrels standing.